All right, welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we are going on a seriously fascinating journey. We're starting with this massive wealth illusion from way back in 1990, and we're going to end up with a literal treasure map for finding tomorrow's hidden multibaggers. We so often look back at the past with a ton of regret, right? We sit there thinking we missed these obvious golden opportunities, but what if the big opportunities of the next few decades are actually sitting right in front of us, just disguised as completely ordinary businesses? Okay, let's dive into this and uncover the blueprint for 2026. 800 crore rupees. Let that number just sink in for a second. Now, I want you to picture this. It's exactly 36 years ago, the year 1990. Your father, or maybe your grandfather, is holding a 10,000 rupee note. Now, back then, that kind of money could have bought a really nice plot of land or a solid chunk of gold. But imagine they didn't do that. Instead, they took that 10 grand and put it into this little company called Wipro, which at the time was literally just selling vegetable oil and soap. Now imagine they took those share certificates, shoved them into a dusty box in the back of a cupboard, and completely forgot the whole shebang existed. If you were the one to open that box today, in 2026, you wouldn't be looking at useless scraps of paper. No, you'd be looking at an absolute empire worth approximately 800 crore rupees. And the craziest part, this isn't some movie script. This is the harsh, incredibly wealthy reality of the stock market. Now, hearing a story like that 800 crore windfall instantly triggers something in our brains, doesn't it? We see companies like Infosys, Asian Paints, HDFC Bank, companies that literally turned middle-class families into billionaires over the last 30 years, and it seems so obvious to us now. But, well, that's exactly what we call hindsight bias. It's the psychological trap where we trick ourselves into thinking, oh, I totally would have known to invest in that. But the reality of the 90s, it was entirely different. People were terrified. Nobody back in 1990 knew that Narayan Murthy, starting out in a tiny one-room office, was going to completely shake the world. Hindsight bias makes past wealth creation look like a walk in the park. But the truth is, identifying the future takes a real shift in perspective. And that is exactly what we're doing today. We are not here to cry over missing the bus in the 90s. We are here to catch the one that's leaving right now.
So the obvious question is, how do we actually capture that kind of insane wealth today? Well, we use a really cool concept called coffee can investing. Think about the old days, right? People would take their most valuable possessions, seal them up inside empty coffee cans, and physically hide them under their beds for decades without ever touching them. This translates into arguably the most powerful strategy in the entire stock market. You buy high-quality companies, and you go to sleep for 20 years. Why is this absolutely crucial? Because this strategy protects us from our absolute worst enemy, which is unfortunately ourselves. When you're checking your portfolio every single day, panicking over the daily news cycle, and selling out of fear, you are quite literally choking the magic of compounding. The market is just pure noise in the short term. But as the strategy proves, if you have long-term patience, the market transforms into an unstoppable wealth creation machine.
But hold on a second, because there's a massive catch here. You can't just take any random garbage stock, throw it into a coffee can, and expect it to magically turn into solid gold 20 years later. Think of it like this. If you plant a babul tree, a thorny acacia, and you wait incredibly patiently for 20 years, you are not going to wake up to delicious mangoes. No way. You're just going to get a massive tree covered in thorns. In the exact same way, simply holding on to a trash stock forever isn't going to make you rich. You absolutely must plant the right seed. You have to find the mango tree. So the crucial point is, how do we actually identify those mango seeds today? We do it by looking at the DNA of those huge winners from the 1990s. The leaders back then, your Infosys, your Asian Paints, they all shared 4 very specific traits. First up, a big ocean, meaning they operated in a sector that was just at the very beginning of its growth curve, where demand wasn't going to die out for decades. Second, a scalable business. Think about it. If Asian Paints could sell 1 tin of paint to 100 people, their business model allowed them to scale up and sell it to 100 crore people, getting into literally every single home. Third, they had a crazy founder. Someone who wasn't just stressing about next quarter's profit margins, but was deeply, obsessively focused on building a 30-year legacy. And finally, an indestructible moat, basically a fortress around their business. Whether that was an unbeatable distribution network or just unbreakable consumer trust, it ensured no competitor could ever tear them down. 4 sectors for 2026, where the next multi-baggers are hiding as completely ordinary stocks. Okay, now that we've got our framework, it's time to decode exactly where this massive wealth is hiding right now. Our first major sector is digital infrastructure. Look, right now the entire world is screaming about artificial intelligence, and everybody is frantically trying to guess which AI software company is going to win. But let's think back to the gold rush of the 1800s for a second. The people who made the most guaranteed reliable money, they weren't the ones digging in the dirt for gold. It was the people selling the picks, the shovels, and the axes to the miners. Today, AI's pick and shovel is digital infrastructure. We might not know which specific AI software will win the war, but we absolutely know that to run any of it, you need massive data centers, thousands of miles of optical fiber cables, and some seriously heavy-duty cooling systems. The companies providing the sheer electricity and physical infrastructure to make AI happen, those are the ones poised to mint the real money. Now, what's really interesting about this next one is how it goes against the crowd. Our second sector is energy transition. The whole world is pivoting from petrol to electricity, right? And the crowd is just obsessively chasing electric vehicle stocks. But here is where the massive hidden value is sitting. When millions and millions of cars suddenly need to run on electricity, where on earth is all that extra power actually going to come from? The real game is in the companies generating that power and figuring out how to store it. We're talking about the businesses manufacturing smart meters, developing green hydrogen, and taking our old aging power grids and upgrading them into smart grids. This energy transition, it's not just a cute choice anymore. It is a forced global necessity. The companies powering this massive shift could easily become the Reliance or Tata of the next era. Moving right along to our third sector, electronics manufacturing services, or EMS for short. For the last 30 years, China basically held the contract to manufacture everything for the entire world. But those wins have completely changed. Global giants, we're talking Apple, Samsung, they're actively pivoting and seeking new manufacturing bases in India. And the most exciting part, we're not just snapping together basic phone cases anymore. We are moving deep into manufacturing the actual critical chips and circuit boards inside these high-end devices. The Indian companies that are acting as the back-end boom for these global tech giants are securing order books that will be completely packed full for the next 15 years. It's incredible. And that brings us to our fourth massive sector, which is defense. Just a few short years ago, India was heavily reliant on importing weapons and defense tech from other countries. But today, we've fully entered the export era. We are actively exporting tanks, missiles, advanced radar systems, and crucially, highly specialized defense software. And the absolute beauty of this sector and why it fits so perfectly into the coffee can strategy is the timeline of these contracts. In the defense world, orders aren't placed for just a few days or a couple of months. These companies are landing massive orders that lock in guaranteed, totally predictable revenue for 10 to 15 years at a stretch.
The ultimate financial filters. These are the 2 keys to unlock the treasure chest.
Listen, just knowing those 4 powerful sectors, that's not enough to blindly throw your money around. Before any stock earns the sacred right to go into your coffee can, it has to pass through 2 very harsh, totally uncompromising financial filters. And this brilliantly illustrates our first hard filter, 15 to 20%. You need to look for a company that has consistently grown its revenue or its sales by 15 to 20% every single year for the last 5 to 7 years. This is the ultimate proof that the company isn't just getting lucky for a quarter or two. Consistent compounding sales growth over half a decade proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are a serious long-term player in their industry.
Then we have the second uncompromising filter, which is a return on equity, or ROE, of strictly greater than 20%. Put simply, if a company uses 100 rupees of equity, how much actual cash are they making from it? If you find a company that has consistently maintained an ROE of strictly greater than 20% over a solid 10-year period, you have literally struck gold. A track record like that signifies that the business is, quite frankly, a highly efficient note-printing machine. It proves they know exactly how to turn capital into compounding wealth.
So as we pull all these puzzle pieces together, I want you to remember this. The one who becomes a millionaire is not the smartest, but the one with the most patience. The people who turned that 10,000 rupees into 800 crore with Wipro didn't use some secret rocket science. They simply planted a high-quality seed, they watered it, and then, and this is the hardest part, they went to sleep. They didn't dig up the roots every single morning to check if the plant was growing. In 2026, you have that exact same opportunity staring you in the face. Research carefully, select those right sectors, apply those harsh financial filters we talked about, and then just put your emotions aside. Put your investment in the coffee can and let time do the heavy lifting for you. That small beginning today can completely rewrite the financial destiny of your next generation.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question. Which 2026 sector is the rest of the world completely ignoring today? Seriously, take a look at your own portfolio through the lens of everything we've just discussed. Are you just chasing the crowd, or are you actually looking for the picks and shovels? If this explainer shifted your perspective on wealth creation even a little bit, share it right now with someone you know who is still endlessly searching for quick shortcuts in the stock market, because true wealth takes time. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and we will catch you in the next explainer. Keep exploring.